Chapter 1. Your next chapter starts here, Defying the Odds in Ontario. Sections. Section 1.1. Why age 60 plus is an untapped advantage. Section 1.2. Rewriting the immigrant success story after 60. Section 1.3. How this book will be your personal career coach. Section 1.4. Real stories of triumph, mature newcomers who made it. You carry a lifetime of skills, judgment, and resilience, yet somewhere between packing your bags and arriving in Ontario, a quiet voice may have whispered that your professional story is ending. That voice is wrong. Ontario's job market isn't just searching for youth, it is searching for people who show up on time, solve problems without drama, and bring a steadying presence to chaotic workplaces. You are exactly what many employers are desperately missing. This chapter will help you see that, not as a motivational slogan, but as a strategic reality you can act on. We'll dismantle the myths around age, recast your immigrant journey as the ultimate career asset, show you how this book will coach you step by step, and introduce you to real people who've walked this path before you. 1.1. Why age 60 plus is an untapped advantage. Let's begin by flipping the narrative. The same number of candles on your birthday cake that some hiring managers think is a liability is, in fact, a portfolio of strengths that younger candidates simply cannot buy. When I first started coaching mature newcomers in Toronto, I noticed a pattern: those who framed their age as a collection of assets, not an expiry date, landed roles faster and felt more fulfilled. Employers in Ontario are grappling with high turnover, skill shortages, and a workforce that sometimes lacks soft skills. Your age means you possess exactly what they need. Decades of professional life have honed your reliability, you know how to manage time, you don't need hand-holding, and you understand that a job is a commitment, not a pit stop. A 2023 survey of Ontario small business owners revealed that dependability and work ethic ranked higher than technical skills when evaluating candidates, because technical skills can be taught, but character is forged over years. Your emotional intelligence is another quiet superpower. You've navigated office politics, mentored junior colleagues, diffused conflicts, and read rooms long before EQ became a buzzword. In a multicultural hub like Ontario, that ability to connect across generations and cultures is gold. I once placed a 63-year-old accountant from Cairo into a mid-sized logistics firm in Mississauga. His technical skills were solid, but the CEO later told me she hired him because he calmed the whole finance team down during month-end chaos. That's not something you learn from a YouTube tutorial. Then there's the mentorship factor. You aren't just filling a seat, you can elevate everyone around you. Ontario workplaces increasingly value knowledge transfer because they're nervous about losing institutional memory. When you walk into an interview, think of yourself as a walking library of lessons learned, and yes, that library has value. And let's not forget loyalty. Statistics consistently show that older workers change jobs less frequently, reducing costs for employers who dread rehiring. You're not looking to climb a ladder at breakneck speed, you want meaningful contribution, and that stability is a rare and sought-after commodity. To make this concrete, let's visualize how the market's perceptions often diverge from reality. Figure, with light background and high contrast, create image in landscape orientation best describe and represents the flowing. Make sure it is accurate and there is no repetition. Extra detailed AI ready prompt for AI generated diagram showing a split comparison infographic. Left side, shaded gray, labeled myth with icons, a broken watch, unreliable, a question mark, outdated skills, a stick figure resisting change, inflexible. Right side, brightly colored, labeled realities with corresponding icons, a glowing shield, loyalty and dependability, a tree with deep roots and branches reaching out, wisdom and mentorship, a handshake over a globe, cross-cultural emotional intelligence. Arrows connect each myth to its reality. The layout is clean, modern, with easy-to-read sans serif labels. The background is a soft gradient of cream to light blue, ensuring high contrast for the text and icons. Have a good look at that visual. On the left are the tired stereotypes, on the right is what I have observed consistently in Ontario's real hiring landscape. Your job is not to convince yourself of your worth, you already know it, but to package it in a language that resonates with the person reading your resume. And that's exactly what this book will teach you. 1.2. Rewriting the Immigrant Success Story After 60. Most immigrant success narratives are scripted for the young, the fresh graduate who hustles, the mid-career professional who adapts quickly, the entrepreneur who builds from nothing before turning 40. But your story is different, and it deserves a different script, one that honors the courage it takes to restart after 60 in a new land. I remember a woman named Elena who arrived in London, Ontario, at 64 from Colombia. In her first language, she was a clinical psychologist with 35 years of experience. In Ontario, she couldn't practice without recertification, a process that could take years. She told me she felt her professional identity had been erased at the airport. But after working through the exercises in a program similar to the one laid out in this book, Elena reframed her story. She didn't say, "I'm a psychologist who can't practice." She started saying, "I'm a mental wellness expert with deep experience in counseling, conflict mediation, and community outreach." She ended up coordinating a peer support program for a settlement agency, a role that paid fairly and used her skills daily. She rewrote her script, and so can you. Your international experience is not baggage you must shed at the border, it's a lens that lets you see solutions others miss. Ontario's economy is a mosaic of industries serving global diasporas. Your language skills, cultural insights, and understanding of specific community needs can make you the missing link in a company's diversity strategy. A 62-year-old former banker from Mumbai might spot friction points in a fintech app aimed at South Asian seniors. A trained nurse from Manila might become the most trusted face in a home care agency serving Filipino families. These aren't hypotheticals, I've placed people in precisely these roles. Think of your career as a mature tree being transplanted. The shock is real, new soil, different climate, unfamiliar surroundings. But the root system, the core of who you are professionally, remains intact. Once you sink those roots into Ontario's ground, you'll find you can bloom again, often with a robustness that younger saplings haven't yet developed. The key is to understand which parts of your professional identity are portable and which need local adaptation. This book will guide you through that exact process of self-assessment and localization. To help you visualize this journey, here is a simple table I often use with my clients to reframe what they bring. What you may fear, the hidden strength it signals. Keep this table close. We'll return to its logic throughout the coming chapters. 1.3. How this book will be your personal career coach. You might be wondering, can a book really replace a one-on-one career counselor? In many ways, yes, and in some ways, it can do more. A good coach meets you where you are, gives you a structured plan, and holds up a mirror so you can see yourself clearly. That's precisely how this manual is designed to function. Every chapter is a coaching session, complete with action steps and real-world examples you can follow at your own pace. I've structured the content to mimic the journey I take with my mature newcomer clients here in Ontario. We'll start with deep self-assessment, because before you can market yourself, you need a clear inventory of your transferable skills, the ones that cross borders and industries without needing a new license. Later, we'll walk through the often intimidating terrain of Ontario's credential recognition and licensing bodies. I'll show you screenshots of actual web portals, break down the terminology, and give you checklists so you never feel lost in bureaucracy. When we tackle the job search, this book becomes a hands-on tutorial. You'll see step-by-step instructions for crafting an age-proof resume that emphasizes your rich history without dating you. We'll cover cover letters that turn the overqualified objection on its head. I'll share scripts for answering tough interview questions like tell me about a time you had to learn a new technology quickly, or the dreaded why are you applying for this role at this stage of your career. These aren't theoretical suggestions, they're battle-tested lines that have worked for my clients. Networking, a word that strikes fear into many hearts, will be demystified. I'll show you how to use LinkedIn with large, annotated screenshots so you can build a profile that attracts recruiters instead of confusing them. We'll explore in-person networking events, professional associations, and volunteer strategies that feel authentic, not pushy. I'll even introduce you to the subtle unwritten rules of Canadian workplace culture, how meetings are run, how to give and receive feedback, and the true meaning of how are you at the start of a business call. Figure, with light background and high contrast, create image in landscape orientation best describe and represents the flowing, make sure it is accurate and there is no repetition. Extra detailed AI-ready prompt for AI-generated diagram showing an illustrated roadmap with a friendly, glowing figure of a compass in the top left. The path wins from self-assessment at the start, past signposts labeled, credential planning, resume reboot, LinkedIn setup, interview prep, and networking, ending at a sunrise marked job offer and purpose. Each signpost has a small icon representing it, a mirror, a scroll, a document, a computer screen, speech bubbles, 2 shaking hands. The style is bright, slightly hand-drawn but polished, with a cream background and high-contrast navy and gold for the path. Small dashed lines connect each step to a toolkit illustration below showing a checklist, a pen, and a laptop. The whole composition feels supportive, like a trusted mentor is guiding the way. Think of this book as your portable career coach, ready whenever doubt creeps in or when you need a practical template before hitting send. The appendices at the end include a glossary of Canadian employment terms, so you'll never again confuse reference with referee, additional resource links, and current statistics to back up the advice. My goal is to make you self-sufficient, to give you the tools so you can walk into any job search situation with quiet confidence. 1 point for real stories of triumph, mature newcomers who made it. Nothing convinces like a true story. Over the years, I've had the privilege of witnessing incredible transformations. Let me share 3 with you, names changed but journeys very real. These are people just like you, who arrived with credentials from elsewhere, a few grey hairs, and a determination to write a new chapter. Samir, 61, from civil engineer in Jordan to quality inspector in Hamilton. Samir arrived with a master's degree in civil engineering and 28 years of experience managing large infrastructure projects. Ontario's professional engineer's licensing path would have taken years, and he needed income sooner. Through careful skill mapping, which you'll learn in Chapter 3, he identified that his core competencies were not just engineering but reading complex blueprints, ensuring regulatory compliance, and mentoring technical teams. He took a short certificate in Canadian construction codes at a local college and, within 4 months, was hired as a quality inspector for a steel fabrication plant. His age? The plant manager told him, "Your experience on international projects means you've seen standards from around the world. We need that eye for detail." Samir now supervises a team of younger inspectors and has been promoted to a training role. Linh, 64, from bank teller in Vietnam to customer relations in a Toronto tech startup. Linh thought her English wasn't strong enough and her background too ordinary. But she'd spent 30 years handling delicate customer situations in a busy Hanoi bank. Using the resume techniques from this book, she framed her experience as high-stakes client service and conflict resolution in a fast-paced financial environment. A fintech startup in Toronto's Discovery District was looking for someone who could de-escalate frustrated users without escalating to management. Linh's age was an asset. She could calm anyone down, the founder told me, and our younger staff learn patience just by watching her. Linh now works 4 days a week, has full benefits, and tells me she's never felt more valued. Omar, 67, from retired teacher in Egypt to tutor and exam proctor in Ottawa. Omar had no intention of a full-time grind but wanted purpose and supplementary income. He learned that his teaching background could transfer directly into private tutoring and exam invigilation. By connecting with 2 school boards and a local settlement agency, he built a client base tutoring Arabic and high school math. He also proctors exams during midterms and finals. The flexibility allows him to spend time with his grandchildren, and the income keeps him active. His comment to me, "I didn't think anyone wanted a 67-year-old teacher. I was wrong. They wanted someone reliable who wouldn't cancel last minute. That's me." Figure, with light background and high contrast, create image in landscape orientation best describe and represents the flowing, make sure it is accurate and there is no repetition. Extra detailed AI-ready prompt for AI-generated diagram showing a triptych of illustrated portrait panels. Left panel, a smiling man with grey beard, wearing a yellow hard hat and holding blueprints, with the label Samir, 61, quality inspector and a small Jordanian flag. Center panel, a woman with black hair tied back, wearing a headset and a teal blazer with the label Linh, 64, customer relations and a Vietnamese flag. Right panel, a man with salt and pepper hair, wearing glasses and holding a textbook, standing beside a chalkboard with the label Omar, 67, tutor and proctor and an Egyptian flag. The background is a soft, unified gradient of sunrise orange and blue, evoking a new beginning. Below each portrait is a small speech bubble containing a single key phrase: attention to global standards, human calm in crisis, absolute dependability. High contrast, clean modern illustration style, minimal text, warm lighting. These three individuals had different backgrounds, different goals, and different levels of English fluency. What they shared was a willingness to reframe their experience, learn the local system, and persist. They didn't pretend to be 30, they doubled down on being their authentic, seasoned selves. Your victory story is waiting to be written, and it might look very different from what you imagine, because it will be uniquely yours. Now, let's capture the essence of this chapter in a visual summary you can pin up or keep handy. This mind map will help you recall the core insights and how they connect. Figure mind map, a mind map with a central node titled Defying the Odds After 60 in Ontario. Radiating outward are 4 main branches. Branch 1, the untapped advantage with subnodes reliability and work ethic, emotional intelligence, mentorship ability, loyalty and low turnover. Branch 2, rewriting the success story with subnodes reframing international experience, transplanting roots, adaptation, myth to strength table, cultural insight as asset. Branch 3, your personal career coach with subnode self-assessment, resume and cover letter, LinkedIn and networking, interview scripts, unwritten rules. Branch 4, real triumph stories with subnodes Samir, engineer-inspector, Linh, banker-customer relations, Omar, teacher-tutor, proctor, key takeaway, authentic self. All branches converge back to a golden banner reading your new chapter starts now. Use warm, high contrast colors, teal, gold, dark gray, on a light background, with simple icons for each node.